All right, so let's get straight into what's next. And we're talking about the nominations, the winners, the losers, and of course, Enilachito is here with us to do just that. How far?
I'm waiting for this.
You guys didn't give me the memo. I've won Bluetooth.
Actually, I think she copied me.
We didn't actually plan it, but I think we're in the spirit because we've been kind of working on this, since Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's get straight into it.
Right.
The biggest winners or biggest winner was Seven Doors.
Yes.
We saw, them taking best male lead, best female female lead as well. Your thoughts on that? We saw that emotional thank you from Femi Adebayo, very emotional. She wasn't there, Choma Apota, but you could just tell she was just very happy. Yeah. Was this deserving? Do you think Seven Doors?
Very, very much so. Seven Doors was a brilliant series, limited series, and when it came out, I think in December. My predictions were correct. I did a prediction video on my YouTube channel when the nominations were announced. I did predict that Femi Adebayo would win for Best Lead Actor and that Chioma Chukwuka would win for Best Lead Actress. Okay. People got on my case about the Chioma Chukwuka one because they believed that Uzoamaka Aniuno and Uzoamaka Onoha would win because they had really good performances in Agemo and Phoenix Fury. But Chioma Chukwuka's performance, I believe, was fantastic and very well deserved. And I was quite pained when she wasn't on hand to collect her award that night. But I was very happy for both of them. Seven Doors was a brilliant limited series, so it was very deserving. Okay,
now let's talk about Best Movie. First of all, you have Chioma winning the lead actress and you have Femi winning lead actor. How come from nowhere Freedom Way just won Best Movie? Because, I don't think that, if you notice, if we're in the hall, people didn't really clap so much. People were shocked. Yes. And even I thought, I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to belittle their efforts in Freedom Way, but come on now.
I think the issue is when there are so many films that we, the public, don't get to see before the awards. So that was the issue, I do believe. Freedom Way showed at AFRIF in 2023. So it's those who attended AFRIF that have seen it, and it did the festival rounds around the world. Yeah. So it hasn't been released to the general public yet, almost 2 years after. So, but the people who make these decisions, they see all the films being considered, but unfortunately the public hasn't. So it's up to them who pick the winners to pick who wins. That's why we didn't get that reaction because it hasn't been released to the public. But people who had seen it, after the ceremony, I spoke to one or two people and said, yes, they understood why it won the award. It reminds me of Bonale Austin Peters' film. Was it? I forget the name, but it was the one about NSAS and whatnot that Daniel Etimeffiong was in. It won that year, but it hadn't come out yet. People saw it during the festivals, and it won at AFRIF. And so it was a bit of a quiet reaction, but it eventually came out on the streaming platforms, and it was really good. And I said, it's when I saw it, I was like, okay, I understand now why it won the award. So this is one of the big issues with the AMVCAs and maybe other award ceremonies where some films are nominated, but they have not been released to the general public.
What's the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, right? Okay, but I'll just leave it there. Let's talk about another film, Lishabi. I know in my report I said Lishabi. I'm so sorry, which is crazy because the first letter of my name actually has this the same intonation. We're talking about more epics, kind of like making its way to Netflix and whatnot. West Africa indigenous film, do you think that Lishabi was deserving of this award as well? And we could also see, his wife, I think she was the producer of the movie on there. Yes. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Lishabi was an interesting film. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about Lishabi because I didn't thoroughly enjoy it.
Did you watch the two? And I watched part one. I haven't watched part two yet.
I watched part one too. I left part two alone. But Lishabi, I don't know. I felt like the reaction to Lishabi when it came out was somewhat unanimous. People weren't really blown away. And in the category that it was nominated, there were good contenders as well. I think Seven Doors was there as well. And Nikulapo was there. But Lishabi on the night had the highest nominations. I think it had 10 nominations. I'm not sure. I think it went home with 3 or 4. Like you said, it won Best Indigenous West Africa.
Yeah.
What can I say? It made an impact, but I personally would not have picked Lishabi. But kudos to all involved. It was a strong effort, between Anthill Studios and I think Anthill Studios was behind it, and Lateef Adedimeji, and they were quite pleased to win, and I was happy for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now let's go back to the best actor, best lead actor. Like, a lot of people have come out with the argument that Femi Branch did a better job in House of God than Femi Adebayo in Seven Doors. Fine, he got emotional. I mean, congrats to him, he deserves it. But do you think, for that category, that he deserves to win it over Femi Branch for House of God?
Another issue, before I answer that, another contentious area for this win was that Seven Doors is a limited series. I think it was a 5 or 6 episode series, while House of God is a movie. Yeah. So people were like, I mean, well, it's best lead actor. They didn't say whether it's movie or series.
There should be a separation, shouldn't there? There should be a movie or series. Like we have the Golden Globes and we have
for the TV shows. They recognize the TV shows and then they recognize the movies separately. Well, between just the two of us, and we'll pretend like the rest of Africa is not watching. 2024 wasn't a fantastic year, in my opinion, for Nollywood. So it was slim pickings to get films to, really contend for awards. So they worked with what they were given. But Femi Branch over Femi Adebayo, I have heard that. Even on my row where we sat on awards night, we were debating before Femi Adebayo was announced. I was for Femi Adebayo, a few other people were for Femi Branch. I feel like Femi Adebayo gave a stronger performance. The story, there's so many things working together that worked well for Seven Doors. Yeah. Femi Adebayo's acting was brilliant.
It was brilliant, and I think having Chioma as his co-lead was just, there was something very epic about the two of them working together. And I find it interesting as well that Chioma is winning an AMVCA for playing a Yoruba woman, as an Igbo woman, and I think that's fantastic.
She deserves it.
She deserves it too, and that's even why I appreciate it more, that she was outside of her comfort zone and she still won an award. But let's talk about the supporting acts. Supporting actors, we had Mercy Aigbe for Farmer's Bride, and we had Gabriel Afolayan for Inside Life. I didn't see that coming. I thought he did fantastic. I think he was killed like in the first.
Spoilers.
I mean, if you've not watched it now, what are you doing? Really?
It's been out for a while.
So I think for supporting, a lot of people were looking at, Micah Folarin, House of God as well. Mike. So your thoughts about those two categories as we wrap up?
That was another prediction I got right. Gabriel Afolayan. People were really moved. The character was really good. Yeah. You are right. He wasn't in the series. That's another limited series. Clarence Peters' Inside Life. He wasn't in for very long. But I see how he, went home with the trophy. He also wasn't on hand to receive his award, but I see how he won, right? For Mercy Aigbe, for Farmer's Bride, I said it when I did my predictions video. I also predicted that she would win because I was at the premiere. Her performance was fantastic. She had a scene that when that scene was over, people clapped, and that was it's a bit rare, right? So I think it was deserving for both actors, if you ask me. I was kind of hurt for Micah Folarin, but. Hey, I think Gabriel Afolayan did a good job.
He's still young and upcoming. He has so many awards. Awards in front of him.
Speaking of young and upcoming, do you guys want to touch on the Trailblazer Award?
Yeah.
Kayode Kasum.
Yes. Please let's talk about that very briefly.
Well, I thought that the Trailblazer Award is like, who is next? Who should we keep an eye out for? Like next rated for the
like how we had Chimezie Imo last year.
Teniola Aladeshe, I think the year before, Bisola Ayola has won, Lala Akindoju has won. Yeah. They were coming up, but Kayode Kasum, no discredit to him. Kayode is a great guy, but Kayode is a big director now. Yes. So I don't know. Maybe we are the ones who have the wrong idea of what Trailblazer is about. Maybe Trailblazer is for who is contributing very well to the industry, right? Not that because we should put a spotlight on you and draw attention to you. So maybe we have the wrong idea. But it was a big surprise that Kayode Kasum won. I was really rooting for. Ironically, Darasimi Nadi, she came up to accept the award. Yeah. I was rooting for her to win. I think she should be recognized, now while she's young. Don't wait till she's a teenager or she's an adult. Recognize her now.
Yes, and she's such a fantastic actor.
Now let's go to nominees for Best Costume Design. Now, I mean, that Christmas in Lagos won it, but for some reason, I feel like House of God should have maybe gotten that. That's me, though. I'm not trying to say that I'm a fan of House of God. I'm just trying to say... Fine, Christmas in Lagos is not a bad movie, but for costume, it's not. I mean, it's for the entire movie. So I don't think it should win over the likes of House of God and the others in that category.
Shaita, what do you think?
I don't know. You're my guest, please. What's the
I mean, Sabi was there, House of God was there, but hey, they gave it to Christmas in Lagos.
I mean, it's very easy for all those epics to win Best Costume because it's a no-brainer. We're wowed by the costumes we've seen.
All those, it's so different.
Yes, it's so different. So we'll be like, okay. for you to get it right with a contemporary film like Christmas in Lagos, I was just discussing that with Ayo a few moments before I came on air. For you to get it right in a contemporary film, then kudos to you. And something about Christmas in Lagos that you can't take away from Christmas in Lagos was the visuals of that film.
Yeah, they really made Lagos just look and feel so good, and I really appreciated her for that.
Yeah.
There was lots of greens and pinks.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, okay, we could have gotten a different vibe with different colors. Yeah. But I still think the styling, everybody looked on point in every different scene.
Down to the extras.
Exactly.
Down to the extras.
So I can give them that. But thank you so much. And
My
it's
pleasure,
always
anytime.
a pleasure having you on here.
Thanks
In-house
for having me.
movie critic. I've been excited about this day, and
We
it has
have.
finally come and
It has
gone.
come and gone.